Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Everybody, very loudly.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Radhe Shyam. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hey Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. August Vishwa Prabhupada, welcome to devotees from Morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we will be speaking from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 3, verse 35, and the chapter is entitled The External Reasons for the Appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The class will be given by His Grace Pariksit Prabhu from ISKCON Harrisburg. Without further delay, we will go right into the class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Rajadhanaranjana Yashodanandana Rajadhanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayarata Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayarata Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Radhanaranjana Yashodanandana Radhanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Damodara Radha Damodara Shri Radhe Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Gora Hari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramhansa Privajapacharya Astottara Satyasishi Maharaj Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramhansa Privajapacharya Astottara Satyasishi Maharaj Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय नवद्वीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी की जय गंगा माई की जय जमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari 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 Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Piraswami. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Siddhartha Ki Gaura Karana Chakra. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. So this morning's class is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 3, and we're doing text 35 and 36. So I'll chant that text 35, and then we can chant text 36 together. So I'll chant 35 by myself. Tanya Yugavatara Janika Gamahasaya Vishnera Nama Karane Karyache Nirnaya Tanya Yugavatara Jani Gaga Mahasaya Vishnera Namakarane Karyache Nirnaya Tanya Yugavatara Jani Gaga Mahasaya Vishnera Namakarane Karyache Nirnaya. Word for word translation. Tanra of him. Yuga Avatar, the incarnation for the age. Yani, knowing. Garga, Gargamuni. Mahashaya, the great personality. Vishnera of Lord Krishna. Namakarane, in the name-giving ceremony. Karyache, made. Dinaya, ascertainment. Translation by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada Ki Jai. Knowing him, Lord Chaitanya, to be the incarnation for Kali Yuga, Gargamuni, during the naming ceremony of Krishna, predicted his appearance. There's no purport. So, all right, so now I'll chant text 36 3 times, and anyone who wants to chant can do so also after that. Asan vanasta trayohyasa venato no yugam tanu yuklo Shuklorakta Statapita, Idanim Krishnatam Gata, Asan Vanastayu, Yasa, Venato Nu Yugam Tanu, Shuklorakta Statapita, Idanim Krishnatam Gata, Asan Vanastayu, Yasa, Venato Nu Yugam Tanu, Shuklo Raktas Tatapita, Idanim Krishna Tam Gata. Hare Krishna. Anyone who wants to chant can do so now.
Asan varnastrayo hyasa Grenato nu yugam tanu Suklo raktas tatapeta Idanim Krishnatam gata. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else? Okay. Word for word. Asan were. Varna colors. Traya 3. He certainly. Asya of this one. Vinanta who's manifesting. Anuyugam according to the age. Tanu bodies. Sukla white. Rakta red. Tata dust. Pita yellow. Idanim now. Krishnatam blackness. Gata obtained. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This boy, Krishna, has 3 other colors, white, red, and yellow, as he appears in different ages. Now, he has appeared in a transcendental blackish color. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 8, text 13. Oma Ginat Virandasya, Gyana Gyana Shalakaya, Chakshu Amlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadatikam. Pandiham Shri Guru Shri Vita Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupa Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Vivam Shri Radha Snapada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Scha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurandi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabanu Sitiri Vipranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhivya Eva Chapati Dhanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirveshesha Sunyabadi Paschatyadi Sitarini. Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Purati Namo. Ananda Nilamaya Vigrahaya Himabhi Divacha Vishnuraya Tasmi Mahaprema Raspadaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Hare Krishna. So text 35, the translation is, knowing him, Lord Chaitanya, to be the incarnation for Kali Yuga, Gargamuni, during the naming ceremony of Krishna, predicted his appearance. Text 36. Your son Krishna appears as an incarnation in every millennium. In the past, he assumed the three different colors, white, red, and yellow. And now he has appeared in a blackish color. Wait a minute. I went a little bit further. Let me just read. This boy, Krishna, has 3 other colors, white, red, and yellow. He appears in different ages. Now he has appeared in the transcendental blackish color. I almost read something from my notes, but that's okay. Sorry about that. So Krishna here, the major point about Lord Chaitanya being the same as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is being described here. And in the first text, text 35, Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation of Krishna for Kali Yuga. So Gargamuni, during the naming ceremony of Krishna, when Krishna was born and was sent to Gokul to be with Nanda Maharaj, because the parents that gave birth to him were in jail, at Kansas jail. And Krishna gave instruction when he first appeared as a Vishnu form, and then he changed himself to a regular looking baby by the request of the mother. So he's now been taken there, and there would be, of course, a naming ceremony when a child is born. That is definitely a thing that happens. You give the name to the child. Gargamuni, the family priest, was called in. And Gargamuni has said so many things. This is predicting the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, true enough, but there's so much that Gargamuni has actually compiled, and it's called the Garga Samhita. And some of the things in there we will talk about here, by the mercy of my Guru and guidance also. So in this first text, text 35, Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation for Kali Yuga. So this Kali Yuga, the Lord came just about 530 something years ago, about 536 years ago. He came in 1486. So you do the math and you will see to 2023, you subtract that, and that would tell how long that he's been here. 2023, I'm actually doing it now, 1486. 537 years that he came, a little over 500 years ago. So much mercy he gave because he was giving this is Lord Chaitanya, giving an easy way to approach Krishna. And he was also giving love of Krishna freely to devotees. The only price is you have to be greedy to want it. No money involved. A person has to be greedy to want the love of Krishna, that they can get it. When you're greedy for something, in general, you go after it, right? With all your might and your mind and your body and everything else. So that's indirectly telling us that this is how we should approach devotional service. With our minds, with our bodies, with always giving priority to devotional service to the Lord, not thinking twice about doing whatever that we have to do to serve the Lord, not thinking twice about it. Everything else is secondary. That way, then Krishna knows that we are greedy to attain him and attain a loving relationship with him. And then he will make the facility possible. Tesha satata yuktanam, pajata priti purvakam, rami buddhi yogantam, yenamam upamyantite. Those who are submitted to Krishna, surrendered to Krishna, and they worship him with love, devotional service, he gives them the intelligence by which they can come to him. And you know, we're all different in our thoughts. So for Krishna to give the intelligence, he does that through the Paramatma, the super soul in the heart. He knows of our strengths, he knows of our weaknesses. And when we are greedy to serve, then the Lord in the heart gives special guidance, special guidance based on the person's strengths and weaknesses in order to get them more interested in Krishna consciousness, the success of coming to him. The Krishna says, I give the intelligence by which you can come to me. So Lord Chaitanya, at the time Gargamuni was naming Krishna and Balaram, he predicted Krishna's appearance later in Kali Yuga. So this is the time, at the time that, the time that the naming ceremony of Krishna was occurring, that was not Kali Yuga, that was Dwapara Yuga, the age before. So Lord Chaitanya had not appeared at that time. And so Krishna, this is 5,000 years ago, Krishna and Balaram's naming ceremony was the place where indirectly Gargamuni predicted the appearance of Lord Chaitanya by saying that this boy Krishna has three other colors, white, red, and yellow, as he appears in different ages. So we have the ages Satya Yuga, Golden Age, Treta Yuga, Silver Age, Dwapara Yuga, Copper Age, and Kali Yuga, the Iron Age. So these are the 4 millennia, the ages. And in Satya Yuga, Krishna appears as, the Lord appears as in the white color. Hansa Duta is the name. In Treta Yuga, he appears as red. And he's called Krishnagarbha. And in Dwapara Yuga, that was the time that Gargamuni was naming him in Dwapara Yuga. So that was clear. He was in a blackish color, bluish black type color. That's why he says in 36 is now he has appeared in a transcendental blackish color. And in Kali Yuga, he appears once in the day of Lord Brahma. Once in the day of Lord Brahma, a Kali Yuga in the day of Lord Brahma. And the scriptures has it down to the particular millennium and, which Manu is ruling at that time. We won't go into that technicality. It's not complicated, but it's quite interesting, actually. That time, Krishna appears. But suffice it to say that is once in the day of Lord Brahma. Now, Lord Brahma's day has 1,000 Yuga cycles. In 12 hours of Lord Brahma's day, he has Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. That's one Yuga cycle. And that goes on 1,000 times. And in one of those Yuga cycles, the Kali Yuga for that, Lord Chaitanya appears right after Krishna. So that means there are, for Kali Yuga, 999 of them out of the 1,000, but he doesn't come as Lord Chaitanya. He comes actually, His Holiness Chanamari Swami talked just a short slither of information about that. The Lord does appear in Kali Yuga, but he appears as Gora Narayan. His name is Gora Narayan at the time. So Hamsaduda, Krishnagarbha, Krishna, Gora Narayan. And in that time, the other 999 Kali Yugas, he would teach about, yes, Krishna consciousness, but how to get to the Vaikuntha planets outside of Goloka Vrindavan. So that tells you that when Lord Chaitanya appears in this yellowish color, it is a very, 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 very opportune time for us to take advantage of the way things are now. It is the easiest way by which we can attain Krishna through the chanting of the holy name. And it is also an opportunity for us to get to the highest planet with the more transcendental variegatedness of relationship with Krishna and Krishna's devotees. There's only one Goloka Vrindavan. And Goloka Vrindavan has more relationships than the other Vaikuntha planets, even though they are all spiritual, and the soul is Satchidananda, full of knowledge, eternal. That is there, and the bliss is there, but there's variety, more variety of bliss, more variety of relationship in Goloka Vrindavan. And that's the time we're in now. That is the time we're in now. So we want to stress the importance of taking advantage of this time when, yes, in materially things are going haywire, true enough, but Krishna is there to protect. And his holy name has been made, he has descended to this place in his holy name. And so when we take that and we chant, we are giving ourselves a great opportunity to have the highest form of bliss that we can ever get in the spiritual world. So in text 36, the three colors are noted: white, red, and yellow by Gagamuni. And Srila Prabhupada says the purport, this is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, which is also called the Krishna book, text 13 of chapter 8. And so text 13, it says, Asan Banas Trayo Hyasha, Grenanto Nuyugam Tanu, Shuklo Raktas Tatapita, Idanim Krishnatam Gata. And the translation is, and this is Gagamuni still speaking, your son Krishna appears as an incarnation in every millennium. In the past, he assumed three different colors, white, red, and yellow. And now he has appeared in a blackish color. In another Dwapara Yuga, he appeared as Lord Ramachandra in the color of Shuka, a parrot. All such incarnations have now assembled in Krishna. Now, this particular text here, where Gagamuni goes into a little more detail, he mentions Lord Ram, and in the color of Shuka, the parrot. All such incarnations are assembled in Krishna. And speaking about that, there was another pastime involving Madhubhumi going to complain to Lord Brahma that there were so many demons disturbing the earth. And Lord Brahma, so she was very uncomfortable about how many things that are spiritual that have been cut off by the demons. And so Lord Brahma took her, and other demigods followed. They went to the ocean of milk in Swetadweep, and that we call the pole star, Dhuvaloka. And they met with Lord Vishnu. They stand normally when things like that happen and demigods go there, which means it's not just one time, it happens more than once in different situations when the demigods get disturbed. It was stand at the bank of the milk ocean, the ocean of milk. And then Lord Brahma, as leader, will then pray and appeal to Lord Vishnu. So in Bhagavatam, the story was shortened a little bit by saying that Lord Vishnu definitely appeared. The Lord Vishnu instructed Lord Brahma as to what the demigods should do. In fact, they said that they should take birth in the Yadu dynasty, and this is how Mahabharata unfolds and so on. So in Dwarka, that they take birth there. Gaga Samhita Gagamuni goes to a little bit more detail about it, that yes, there was information given to the demigods as to what to do, but not right at Swetadweep. The demigods were taken by Lord Vishnu to Goloka Vrindavan. They were given an opportunity to meet Lord Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. And there's a whole lot of things that unfold there. When they went, they wanted to see Krishna, and Lord Vishnu was with them. And there was a gopi. There's always, you can't see Krishna directly. You have to go through some of the gopi guards or gopi that will send a message to Lord Krishna that somebody has come. So they had to identify themselves. And then the gopi went to Radha and Krishna. And then they were allowed in. to wear in Goloka Vrindavan that Radha and Krishna were at the time sitting on a nice lotus flower, the one that their thrones are at. Beautiful, beautiful, effulgent area. That's the whole of Goloka Vrindavan, and for that matter, the spiritual world is effulgent. But special decorations are there. And before they got a chance to speak to Krishna, Krishna decided to reveal to them so many things, so many parts of his pastime that really, really shocked the demigods. Wouldn't shock Lord Vishnu, but it shocked the demigods. And it was a very, very nice pastime that Gargamuni describes, because right in front of all of them, Nara Narayan Rishi appeared in all their glory, and in front of them, they merged into Krishna. Then Lord Ram appeared, and he merged into Krishna. Then Shingadev appeared, half man, half lion, and he merged into Krishna. And so one after another, different expansions of the Lord appeared in front of the demigods, and they merged into Krishna. And so this was to give the demigods a sense that Krishna is the original source. And you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, different parts, especially of Adi Lila, the chapters even before this one, in chapters 1, chapter 2, there is so much evidence that concludes that Krishna is the source of all of the incarnations. And so Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. Sometimes they say the incarnation only because of the time that he appeared. So we say incarnations appear at different times. But the Lord can come as himself. So this is Radha Krishna combined. Lord Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu, and his internal reason for coming was to taste the sweetness of the relationship, of the love that Radha has for Krishna. That was the internal reason, to taste that sweetness. And the external reason was to help those of us conditioned souls and his pure devotees also, to excite them in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord in Kali Yuga, which is the Yuga Dham, so that people would develop love of Krishna. So he descended in his holy name like that, and he was chanting. The holy name is Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. The holy name, because Krishna is absolute. So his name is him, his pastimes are him, his paraphernalia is him. And sometimes that boggles the mind of how can all of those be possible? But we are not Krishna. We have to understand that. We have things. We have things separate from us. But Krishna even things that we can mention separately, like his holy name, like his paraphernalia, that's still him. That is still him, because it is possible for all of those things to act as Krishna. When we offer, we cook, we offer bhoga to Krishna with our mantras and so on, urging the spiritual master to give to Krishna. We, in fact, have whatever we cooked there, we leave the place to allow Krishna to eat as a matter of respect. And then we come back and the bhoga is there. And then we close the offering, and that's Mahaprasad. We change to Prasad, the remnants of Krishna. Everything we cooked is still there. Has Krishna eaten? The answer is yes. Why? Because his senses can do the work of other senses. So while we cannot look at food and be satisfied, or smell the aroma and be satisfied, we'll be enjoying it, the smell of it, or look at how nicely it's decorated. But we are going to remain hungry unless we actually eat it with our mouths and it goes into our stomach. Krishna, on the other hand, can use any of the senses. He can smell, he can look, and it's the same effect as being eaten. So his body is transcendental. It's not material like ours. And so in so many ways, he can do so many different things. That versatility is there. And so Lord Chaitanya, another point that we say, as I talked about this past time when the demigods saw, by the way, I didn't finish that, I'll say a little more about it. When the demigods saw the different incarnations of Krishna come right in front of them and then merge in things, to show the demigods that they are all contained in Krishna. The demigods were blown away by what they saw. So then they offered one prayer after another, praising Krishna. One prayer after another. There's so much, and you can see the emotions. It's long in the Gaga Samhita, so I'm not going to read it now, but so much praising the versatility, the strength, and the omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was the sum and substance of what they were talking about. But they were definitely offering obeisance over and over and over. I offer obeisances again and again and again. They always, one after another were saying that. And then, of course, Krishna told them that they should be getting ready to go to the earth and the Yadu dynasty in order to deal with the situations to help Mother Bhumi's complaint to take it. And of course, that is the whole unfoldment of the Mahabharata, and then the Bhagavad Gita was spoken in the Battle of Kurukshetra, and we are to this day getting such great benefit from it. The Lord's words to Arjuna, answering Arjuna's questions, and Srila Prabhupada adding commentary that is so convincing, Bhagavad Gita as it is, that by reading that, you can be a devotee. It has the potency to convert people who are ready and who want a better life, change from all the disturbances in the material world, to see things as they are and connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and prepare to go home, back to Godhead. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in another section before chapter 3, some people say wrongly that Lord Vishnu's incarnation is Lord Krishna. And they're saying that the reason they give is Lord Vishnu has 4 arms, Krishna has 2 arms. And so Lord Vishnu then is incarnate. And many people believe that, the Hindus believe that from Lord Vishnu came Krishna. And so Srila Prabhupada in Chaitanya Charitamrita does a lot of purport giving and commentary, and then there are texts in there too that describe this as those with a very poor fund of knowledge. You just can't count arms and say, okay, Lord Vishnu has 4 arms, Lord Krishna has 2 arms, therefore Lord Vishnu came first. Or you some people point to the Mahabharatam and say, okay, well, the incarnation came later on. There were different incarnations. Lord Buddha was there, Narayan Rishi was there, and the different Shaktivish avatars were also appearing. Then 19th and 20th, Krishna and Balaram appeared. Therefore, those incarnations. Yes, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Being Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can appear in whenever he wants to appear. That is the point that we should make. He is the sum total of all incarnations, but by his own will, he can appear when he wants to. He can appear wherever he wants to. Just like the person who has control, let's say a school, and there's a principal of a school. So there are different classes, the teachers are there and so on, and many things go on, teaching relating to the students. But the principal is the main personality, the head of the school. So the principal at any time, without the teacher's permission, with the class going on, he can walk into a classroom. He can walk into any of the classes. He can walk in the 1st grade or he can walk in the 12th grade. If he decides to go talk to people in the 12th grade, and then he decides to talk to people in the 5th grade on another day, what difference does it make? He's still the head. And so it does not matter that he chose to come at a certain, Krishna comes at a certain time. He's still the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And another point the Lord Chaitanya makes, which is also important, is that because the different incarnations have the same potency as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they do. So that's one thing that we need to know. When they merge, it does not mean that the other incarnations are less in potency. That is still Krishna. And because that is there, Lord Chaitanya gave one statement to support that. It will indirectly support that. That the incarnations are all in strength the same, potency the same. He said, I was lying in an ocean of milk and I heard Advaita Acharya call me. Then I came. I was lying in an ocean of milk. Well, who's lying in an ocean of milk? Sridakshaya Vishnu. One that's a super soul, Sridakshaya Vishnu in Svetadweep. But that was Lord Chaitanya that said, I was lying there. So now he was talking about himself as Sridakshaya Vishnu. Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined. But that goes to show us that as far as the Krishna and Krishna's potencies, they are, from the incarnations, they are the same. Now, the last point we want to make before we open up for questions is, so why does Srila Prabhupada tell us that we should meditate on the form, the two-handed form of Krishna? When, just very example, Lord Chaitanya was saying that when I was lying in the ocean of milk, that is Vishnu, but that's in Svetadweep. What Srila Prabhupada wants us to do by his mercy to do is to get a chance to think of Krishna in the two-handed form, because that abode where the two-handed form is Vrindavan, Lord Vrindavan. And he wants us to go there, because if you meditate on Sridakshaya Vishnu, you're going to wind up in where Dhruvaloka is, where it is. But if you meditate on Krishna in the two-handed form, then you're going to go where he is, and that is Golok Vrindavan, and that's where the relationship between the Lord and the Lord's devotees and the Lord himself is wonderful, and it's variegated. There's more, far more. The other places you go to in the spiritual world will be a servant in awe and reverence. Reverential. You cannot be a parent of Krishna, you cannot be a lover of Krishna, you cannot be a friend of Krishna, but all of those are possible in Golok Vrindavan. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada wants us to go to the place where we have the greatest type of variegatedness of relationship in love to Krishna. And so we have a huge opportunity. Therefore, we got to chant seriously. And as Srila Prabhupada explained, Lord Chaitanya has come to give us the holy name, to propagate the holy name, and the price is greed. So we have to be really, really, really eager and look forward to chanting our rounds and chanting all day and hearing about Krishna through pastimes, through kirtan, through bhajan. Always flood the mind with Krishna and the Krishna's holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Greedy in that way, always connecting, as Rupa Goswami also says, always think about Krishna, never forget Krishna. In that way, when the time comes for us to leave this body, then we have a good opportunity to think of the two-handed form of Krishna, therefore go specifically to Golok Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful classes, and especially bringing up the pastimes and connecting it to this verse was very, very, very nice, actually, very nice. Thank you for bringing that up. We'd like to ask devotees if any questions, any comments, any takeaways, clarification, any doubt, please please do raise your hand and we will answer your questions. I would like to ask a question, and you mentioned in the class, and I'm seeing in Srimad Bhagavatam, from this verse, Srila Prabhupada referred to Bhagavatam 10 Canto 8, chapter, verse 13.
Yes.
And, where Srila Prabhupada says that the word grihanata indicates that Krishna is free to make his choice. Then if Krishna is free to make his choice, and at the same time, he wants us back to his Goloka Vrindavan, and he gives us free will. But how, I'm trying to think in the position of a loving father, because I've been asked this question before, a father or a mother, they don't want their child to be straight off, right? They want them to come back. So they will do some shape or form not to give them complete freedom. So if a living entity is given complete freedom and free will, and at the same time, the Lord wants us to come back, what are the chances of that living entity wanting to come back?
The situation with us, and for that matter, all of the living entities, whether they're in the material world or the spiritual world, is, as you said, there's a free choice. There's a free choice. The reason that is there is that love cannot and should not be forced on anyone. Love should not be forced on anyone. When force is put in, then it's not really true love. Force can generate doubt, it can generate fear, but love has to come from the heart. And that's what this is how Krishna relates to the living entities everywhere, if they turn their attention to him. Those in the spiritual world do. What happened was that when we said that we wanted Krishna's position, that he has so much attention given to him. Krishna, as a loving parent, if you brought about this, the loving parent, did not stop us from wanting to make our decision or going through with the decision. Of course, it was a bad decision, now we know. But he did, in fact, warn. And he still warns, even in as the Paramatma in our heart, he still warns us if we're going to do something wrong. Even in the material world, he still warns. But in the spiritual world, he warned. This question was asked of Srila Prabhupada. And I saw a video of it when he had just come from another country, dropped him off in the plane, and he took him to in a car to a temple. And that was one of the questions. Why are we here and suffering in the material world? Why didn't Krishna stop this? And he has all powerful, he could easily keep us in the spiritual world and not have us come here. Srila Prabhupada said, because you forced Krishna's hand. That's how he put it. You forced Krishna's hand. When somebody says you forced his hand, it means that Krishna tried to stop you from coming, but you were in American language, hell-bent on coming to get your freedom to try to control material nature. So then he said, all right, go. One smaller example was Abel Babu's son, the fan was moving and he wanted to touch the fan. His father said, you're going to be in trouble, it's going to give you problems, you're going to hurt yourself. No, I want to touch the fan. So then he pulls the power off the fan, so the fan begins to slow down, so people will touch it. You touch it and then it gives, bangs the finger a little bit, not so seriously, because in the full, with the power on, that it could have been far more serious. But then you learn. So that's our situation. Krishna would definitely try to take us back, but we wanted to come here. And if we had at that time listened and said, Krishna, what you're saying may be true, I don't want to find out this. No, we wanted to be controllers. We wanted to be controllers. We are wired to be servants of Krishna, but we wanted to be controllers. And that's why we're here now. But the point is, the free choice is there because the loving relationship has to be from us to Krishna freely and from him to us freely. Love doesn't have to come with any kind of conditions or force to it. And that's the situation we are. So we are free to relate well, or we're free to abuse that free choice. And if we abuse it, then we're in the material world. Hare Krishna.
Yes, as you were making the point that what Prabhupada says, that, we by force, I think we wanted to leave. I was like, oh my God. So sad. So sad.
Yeah, we thought that we had, if we got outside of Krishna's the way things were set up in the spiritual world, that we would be happier and we'd be in better control. And that was a big mistake. Now we know. Many people still are trying to make it in the material world, and they don't even know that Krishna has wonderful spiritual world beyond this material sky that we see. That life is a whole lot easier, and there's no reason to be in anxiety in any way. We don't even remember. So we're fortunate that the spiritual masters pointed out to us, so we can start our journey back home by his direction and his help and mercy. Hare Krishna.
Amazing. Actually, let me ask if there's any questions from devotees, any reflections, any thoughts that's coming to your mind. Please do unmute yourself, or you can just raise your hand and we'll call upon you. Actually, as you were reading this verse, and I was also reading the verse that Prabhupada quoted, 10, 10:8:13, and then from there, at the bottom of the verse, Srila Prabhupada went to another verse, which was 11th canto, chapter 5, verse 32, where
I noticed that.
that, and I'm thinking, the Bhagavatam was written 5,000 something years ago, right? By Srila Vyasadeva. And at that time, Srila Vyasadeva is already predicting, he prophesied that in the age of Kali, intelligent persons will perform congregational chanting.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, wow. I mean, like we've heard this so many times, but it's just so powerful. Like, we've heard it. We've heard acharyas, we've heard Srila Prabhupada speak, we've heard our gurus, we've heard devotees speak. So it's not just a fairy tale. But at the same time, when we hear it and we read that it's stated in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, which was written 5,000 years ago, that Lord Chaitanya will appear in Kali Yuga and devotees will be chanting, congregational chanting. Srila Vyasadeva saw that 5,000 years ago. Such a promise, I feel, for me, that we are in the right process. We are on the right track, that it has been predicted by Srila Vyasadeva, who is none other than Krishna's incarnation, as we know. Predicted it, and it's coming to pass. I mean, it's happening. So why should there be doubt that we are on the right track? Like that was very powerful for me. Very, very powerful to actually know that. I was like, wow, we don't, there should be no doubts.
Krishna, in the 11th canto, 5th chapter, text 32. Quite popular text anyway. Krishna Bhanam Tusha Krishna, Sangopangasta Prasadam, Vigay Sankirtan Praya, Jajanti he made a start. Prabhupada quoted quite a bit. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Lord Guranga. And now we have Nitai Chandra in our temple worship. His complexion is not blackish, he's golden, but it's Krishna himself. And he's accompanied by his associate servants, weapons, confidential companions, all of that. So we are very fortunate. And what it means also is that a person who is chanting the holy name of the Lord has an opportunity to get out of the material world. And they are very intelligent, because this is the best thing to do to save ourselves from this material world. The earth in particular is going to go through some serious changes. It's coming up. The Earth's Mother Bhumi herself, she's going to be there. And in some parts, Srila Prabhupada purports in the Shastra, Srila Prabhupada indicates that even if there's nuclear war, the demigods can repair the situation on the earth just like it doesn't mean much to them at all to do that kind of repair quickly. There's Brahmastra and others has even greater effect than the weapons that's here now. But what's happening is that there's so much negative, nefarious activities going on that Krishna is allowing the different countries to have the intelligence to come up with the kind of bombs that will wipe the demons themselves out. Krishna doesn't have to have anything outside to do that. There'll be warnings from the demigods, and we're already seeing that the different pralayas, the different weather changes, sometimes quite severe. That's to warn us. But the nuclear war situation, and they already said almost 80% or more of the population of the world will be gone. This has already been predicted from it. But Krishna has arranged, because you use your intelligence, you want to make bombs, okay, go ahead and make bombs. And when the time comes, you will all release them, and the devotees will go back to Godhead. And those who stay here, they would actually wish that they hadn't been around. It is a horrible situation. But yeah, this is how the earth is going to be cleansed of the problems that the demons are causing. There's so much cheating and negativity going on at this point. So chant the holy name of the Lord. Chant the holy name is a very easy thing to do, but chant with a lot of eagerness so that we can be given a chance to go back and we don't do another lifetime here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Yeah. We are definitely on the right track in the right process, and just got to take to the chanting of the holy name, because we just got to remind ourselves that the chanting of the holy name was given by Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya, as predicted in Bhagavatam 11 canto 5,000 years ago, that Lord Chaitanya is none other than Radha Krishna combined. So if Radha and Krishna coming in the form of Lord Chaitanya is telling us to chant, and the Lord himself is telling us, then we should just do it. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely.
Very important. Very
Yes,
very
it is. Yes. Thank you so much. Any other questions from devotees before we end this class? Any thoughts?
Or I mean comments, yeah.
Or comment. Any comment?
It would be nice to hear someone else also talk.
Yeah. Any comment from anyone? Yes, Nitya Gopal, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Nitya Gopal.
Prabhu,
Looks
we
like-
can't hear you.
It looks like you're unmuted by looking at it, but still
Yeah.
check your volume.
Or probably you want to try Rukmini's, because she's on. So I would like to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
I think he's outside, maybe.
Oh, that's why he can't do it. Yeah, because he did unmute himself. Probably that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Prabhu, if you can connect, that would be nice. We would like to hear what you have to say. Okay, he must be having some interference with the whatever outside.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
she's outside, yeah.
That sometimes that
your
happens.
phone is very clear though.
Yeah, her phone was clear, but Nitya Gopal is out. Yeah. Yeah, he said his mic is not working.
Ah, okay,
That's
the
fine.
mic is
Prabhu,
not
I thought
working.
so.
Okay.
It's,
All
yeah.
right.
Wanted to hear your input, but hopefully we can hear it next time. But any other would like to share something before we end this class? Any comments, any reflection, any takeaways? And if there isn't, we thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing everyone at the temple on Sunday. We have a very nice topic that is actually in the mood of what we have been discussing this whole week in class, finding love in the Lord. So please do join us this Sunday for our Sunday program. Until then, Vanchakapdibhyascha, Kripasindavevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful day, devotees. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Hari. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.